Ladies and gentlemen and children, I want your attention, please. We have Sister Imani Faith.
Greetings, my beautiful black people. It's nice to see all you all this evening. Everybody came out to the Unity Fest. And I do spoken word, and what I want y'all to do is open and free your mind. Open the box, think outside of it, and let some new information come within. Mull around, let it mull around, and ponder on it. Because what I'm about to say might ignite a little fire in y'all, but it's okay, because knowledge is power. Alright? The topic is called nigger and nigga. The two most controversial words on the face of the planet. We're going to examine the word nigger. Just a little intro. A word used to disrespect you, tell you nothing and nobody. Even Webster say that you ignorant, but really ignorant yourself. Right? Nigga, a term used as a greeting, a term of endearment, and just to show Whitey that, hey, we can do something different, right? So, he arches his brows and wrinkles his forehead and snarls his nose, fixes his mouth as he gets ready to say that dreaded N-word. Niggas! You damn niggas! Kill them niggas. He be spewing hate, screaming and spitting in your face. But he be looking like Elmer Fudd. He pops his top and flips his lid, steam coming from his ears. Father, those with ears, please let them hear. Cause he be looking like the devil. He just mad cause he can't get on our level. But his pH balance level only goes to 10. Man, he's literally dying to be black. Cause he knows that's where it's at. Yeah. See, we've been called everything under the sun, but the chosen of the Most High. For we've been called monkeys, coons, blacks, African Americans. But the one that really cracks me up is color. Because see, when he gets mad, he turns red. He's green with envy because he's jealous of me. He's yellow belly because he's cowardly. And when he dies, he turns black. But did you know that's really where he's happiest at? Yeah.
Come on now.
Cause see, he been mocking and taunting and brainwashing us till we had enough. Enough already. Because see, that don't mean white is right. No, it can't be right. Because see, we are a highly creative, innovative people. Because see, we tried our best to turn that negative into a positive. Check it. What's up, my nigga? Handshake for my nigga's sake. Give me some that, because we about to wrap. One arm hug. I just be trying to show my nigga just a little bit of love. Give me 5. On the black hand side, stick it through the hole. You know you got Oh, hey brother. And you my nigga if you don't get no bigger. Yeah, that's right. We are creative, highly innovative people. Right? Because you know, my black don't crack. Because my black, and your black, and especially your black is beautiful. Right? Y'all know the saying, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I'm going to add a little something. And when it gets that black, it's of ultimate use. For despite what you heard, nigger really ain't a bad word. It's really the white man's slang for niggas, N-A-G-A-S, but that's another lesson, right? So, but even the Hispanics got a beard called Negro. It just means black or dark beard. But hold up, wait a minute. Let me put the scripture in. For it says at Acts 12:25 and Acts 13:1, Acts 12:25 and 13:1. That means go look it up. And Barnabas and Saul returned from Jerusalem when they had fulfilled their ministry, and took with them John, whose surname was Mark. And now there they were, traveling to the church in Antioch, certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that was called nigger, Niger, tomato, however you want to say it. And Lucius and Cyrene and Manaman, which had been brought up with Herod, Tarshish, and Saul. The continent or motherland. It has the word nigger, Niger, 3 times. You have the Niger, it's a country, the country Niger. You have the Niger Nigger River. You have Nigerians, black people. So that extra G that was put in, it was only put in to confuse because who really says nigger? You just say nigger. All right. You just say nigger. It just means black. So I know, the old folks used to say, shh, boy, don't be saying that word. That's a bad word. Shh, don't let them hear you say that. That's a bad word. You can't call me that, but I can call you that. That's a bad word. Right. So, even Paul Mooney said, every time he said it, make his teeth white. Hey, I know. Some brother use it 5 times in a sentence, right? To make him seem a little dense. But it's all right. Reach one, teach one. It's gonna be all right. Reach one, teach one. It's gonna be all right. So, I guess we need this kind of expression. So if you ain't scared, close your fists like this, raise your hand like this, and in the immortal words of the King of Soul, James Brown, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. One more time. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
Next, we're going to have from Amen Parang Farm, our master farmer. Actually, there's one person in Kansas City that I sit down with and ask advice about farming when I'm going to grow something. Everybody else needs to sit down when I'm teaching about it. But it's one person who actually was able to go 2 years without going to the store. Lived a good life, didn't need anything from the store, created crafts, grew her a purse, instruments, everything right in the hood. So I want to bring out our very own Adenike Amin Ra.
All right.
Well, I wrote this poem and I rewrote it, but I had this song in me, and I wanted to express it today. And really, it's again, I had spoken on the seed and how the seed is represented in our children as they grow and develop. You know, you have the concept of it takes a village to raise a child, and so every experience, every day, every minute that they live, you know, as children, they're growing into their life, and it's shaping them. The way we speak to them, the way we give them attention or not give them attention, the way we address them is the significant value of what's going to go into their life. And so what we feed them, whether we touch them or not, you know, stroke them and give positive energy, those are the things that we need to have in our consciousness, not only for our children, but for our, ourselves, for our elders, for everyone. And so this is, now we see the light. The real truth of our story goes untold. We are the children of Ra, the sun, Nu, the water, and Geb, the earth. We live in peace and humble connection. We are the mound builders, the founders of civilization, enlightened, illuminated. Mind is time. It's time for the Neteru to arise, washed in the waters of Oshun. I am Nu all over you. Haru is on the horizon. The Aquarian age is arising. We must be the farmers, the gardeners, to plant the seeds into the fertile ground, to nurture, and then to let Ra shine upon it. Nu, rain upon it. Shu, breathe the air upon it. The future is a seed. Politicians, social controls creating. A new world order they are laying. Warmongers are still saying. People misbehaving. Can you hear what I'm saying? Controls on banking. Black Wall Street collapsing. We are slaughtered, sheared, seared for the corporatocracy by the economic hitmen, lynchmen with the lynch pin. False messiahs are refused, racial bigotries reused, mandatory war spending, corporate welfare slush funding. King Alfred is patrolling, surveillance of the citizens, from third-grade public schools to prison industrial complex, of neo-slavery in the belly of the beast of Babylon. Our bodies and minds are just cash cows for the milking. Hey, Kool-Aid, food supply, surprise! We gorge on Jolly Green Giant ranchers, KFC clones, mad cows of swine flu, HIV, Plasterburg garbage patch fish that follow the chemtrails of cruise ships while we're sipping at Tea Party, slave ships, slipping on the Black Friday massacre of Monsanto Con Agora, culture of Frankenstein, Einstein, mushroom, cloudy forecasts are ahead. Our health care feeds a death style with their medicines. Population tailoring, social engineering, conspicuous, ostentatious spending. Photon energy is rising, new technologies expanding, seductive systems masquerading. Why are we offending when we should be mending? Why are we shoveling when we should be shoveling? Or shoving when we should be shoveling? Why are we bleeding when we could be feeding? Why are we killing when we could be healing? Why are we bombing when we could be loving?
All right.
All right, all right.
And now we have Baba Okpara, Nosakara. I called his wife, and it was around dinner time. And I was, at that time, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I was trying to call and see if we can engage young people. And I know that he has a web page or on Facebook called Sons and Daughters of the Sun. And he shares a lot of insightful information. And so I asked him desperately, I was like, do you know any young people that we could bring forward? And as I was trying to, I don't know if he could even understand what I was saying, because I was, like I said, I was mad at that time trying to find some young people to speak spoken word. And I could just hear his voice. He's like, I will come. Sister, I'm coming. I will come. And so it was almost like he's the Calvary. He's going to come here and rescue you. So, but he has a lot of wealth of knowledge. And so I want to introduce and welcome Baba Okpara Nosakara.
Right.
Good evening, everyone. Mother, may I speak, please? I'll try to not to be so controversial due to the fact that I have a tendency to do that because it's necessary sometimes. But what I will elaborate on in just a short amount of time is the word culture. Is the culture in which you live your life conducive to your survival? Now, culture being what you believe, what you wear, what you eat, how you think, how you worship or not worship. How do you communicate with others? What are the responsibilities of the children? What are the responsibilities of the elders? What are the responsibilities of the men and women within that family? What are the responsibilities of the governing source or bodies that work with you or outside of you? How are things governed within your home or within your community? Are people working together? Is the word culture synonymous with being black? And actually, that's the biggest problem right there. One of them is because we believe, because we're black people, that we all think alike, that we do everything alike, we behave alike, and all of these things. And it's so farthest from the truth. I'm from New York. I came to Kansas City, Missouri. Culture was very different from where I came from. Very different. I've lived around the world, lived in a lot of different cultures, speaking different languages, learning about different people, and by learning about other people, I specifically learned about myself. Culture. We're at a time right now that we really have to look at some drastic changes as far as our daily routines and rituals within our home and community. We really need to examine what culture really is. We sit here, quote unquote, the Black United Front as well as other organizations. It's a multicultural situation because everyone that's representing different communities, different organizations, are cultures within themselves. And are each of those cultures, or is your culture conducive to your survival? Or is it just something that you created in order to say that you're a part of a culture? There are people that can consider themselves African-centered or African-conscious. Some of the most people that I've heard said that are the most screwed up people I've ever met. Because although they say they're a part of the African mindset, the actions speak louder than the words. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. And it's not just one time, it's all the time. And it's also about how you treat your brothers and sisters, all the time. There are people that may call themselves, this, that, or the other, related to some African movement. And behind closed doors, they're doing diabolical things. We all know that's how Malcolm got killed. Is that correct? And the sister was talking about Jesus. And Jesus being black. Well, if he was black, that meant his disciples were black too. And no one ever thinks about the fact that these people were black. You got a situation where blacks killed blacks. It was black people that killed Jesus. And wanted to have the white man because they ran to the Romans and told them to kill him. And here we are in 2012. And you have people that are proselytize good things in behalf of the people, our people. And you will have the so-called same conscious so-called people who will kill them too. Just like they did Jesus. So you need to think about what you call yourself and what you so-called believe as far as your cultural values are concerned. Are they conducive to your well-being and the well-being of others? Or are you just jumping on the bandwagon because it's a fast way for you to make a trip? Or nothing, for those New Yorker guys. I kind of mixed the metaphors intentionally. Do you really care about your people, or are you all in this game just to make money on the side? I call them poverty pimps. I've seen so many black people that will jump behind the black banner in a second. Just to see how they can make some money off of us. Our own people. So you need to examine your culture. What is it that you believe within your home, your community, and your family? And as much as we talk about as people getting together and working together, a lot of oftentimes is about farce. The blind leading the blind, which they all shall go into the ditch. I've seen it here in the 7 years that I've been here. I've seen it in other places that I've gone to. I was blessed to be, as a young man, to have Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, Dr. Garvin, and many other historians to be my mentors. They're the reason why I went into education. I never thought that I'd be able to go as far as that I have, to the point of even getting a PhD, when I thought I would never get as far as getting out of high school. But it was because of these men who gave me information, who took me places, exposed me to the world, and talked to me about real life stuff, my elders. And they didn't lie to me, were not deceptive to me. They did not try to manipulate me to see what they could get out of me. A lot of them died poor because they were honorable men. You know, it's hard to trust an honest man, especially when you're expecting them to do wrong for you. You have so many people that expect good people to be corrupt and to do things like them just so they can make money, like some of us did in ancient times. For 30 pieces of silver, you want to sell out your friends, your family, your people for just some chump change, and like you can take it with you. What is your culture going to be? What is it that you're passing to your children? Because your children are going to see right through you before everybody else will. Because they're the ones that you lied to the first and decepted with the first time. They see right through you. And then when you try to carry that on to people that you don't know in order to get them to follow you, and then finding out you're not all of that which you said you are, it's caused such a downfall. If you're going to live it, you live it for life, or don't play with it. Don't play with it. There are too many lives, too many children lost, I've seen so many people just in this town alone, again, want to rip other people off, play this money game. People of color playing each other off. When I came here, I had so many people to tell me, well, you haven't been here long enough. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how things are and all this kind of stuff. Hell, I'm alive. I've been around. There's nothing you can tell me that I don't know, haven't experienced myself, or even been involved in. But we play with ourselves. We play with our people. We play with our children. There's no reason why this school system should have failed like it has. Failed, the school system. All of them. But you have so many people that you elect as your so-called people to be on your boards, to be your elected officials, that you play with and communicate with in the public. And we see the same people that look like us taking money and will destroy you in a second. People with so-called popular people in this town and other towns. We can no longer afford this foolishness because our children are being lost. You are being lost. All for that 30 pieces of silver. Is it worth it? Is it worth it when your child goes through the school system and you expect your child to be excelling well through the schools that you so-called support, and you recognize that your child is failing and you still support these schools? I know what I'm talking about. I've been a superintendent. I've been a principal. I've been a director of gifted education. 2001, I was called to the White House by President Clinton at the time and recognized for educational leadership. I've never had a failing school. But I've seen so many people in travels, our people will try to destroy us when we're trying to raise our people up. They say crab in a barrel. Actually, I looked at that being wrong in the first time, because when crabs get together in a barrel, actually they use one another to get out of that basket, not to pull each other down. They use each other to get out of that basket. So we turn a positive thing into a negative. But we often do that. We turn positive things into negatives. People that come to work with us and to bring good things for the best interests of our people. I've seen so many people tear those type of people down. So many people here that originally from Kansas City left and went somewhere else. Because the people, they say a prophet is without honor in his own land. Her own people, own town, tear them down. Jealousy, envy, greed. As that biblical saying, I didn't come to praise you, I bring a sword too. And as I talk to you, I also talk to myself, because I have to remind myself every day, why am I doing this? And I do it for my children, because nobody else will but me. And we all have to examine that. Why are we here in this life? Why did you choose to be here? Not in this room, in this life. Why did you choose to be here? I thought that perspective. You were those 1 in a million sperm cells that raced to this egg, competing against all those sperm cells to come into this place called life. You, all of you, raced and made it. We all raced and made it. Now that we're here, what you going to do with your time? Are you just going to stand there and talk about the good old days? Or talk about other people who are not doing anything? You're not doing much of anything yourself. Are you going to deal with people from the standpoint of what you can get out of them from a financial vein, instead of seeing how you can work together as a collective group, a collective body? Sitting in this room right now is a multi-billion-dollar business. You think about it. Because all the talents and skills and the power that you have, there's no reason in the world why everybody in this room should not be wealthy. There's no reason in the world from that perspective. What is your culture? What culture do you want? Have we ever been taking the time to create a culture? Have we ever gotten together to decide what is it that we want? How do we want to educate our children? How do we want to educate ourselves? What type of homes do we want to live in? What type of environment? Have we ever talked about those things and put things into motion in order for all this to come into fruition, in order for this to happen? Have we done it? Are we still talking? You shall know them by their deeds. Years have passed now. And what we're talking about today, we talked about 20, 30 years ago. Matter of fact, you can go home and look on your shelf and get the album, because I'm sure everybody has it. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Am I right or wrong? It's still going on. Mercy, mercy, mercy. So what are you going to do? I see situations where groups are starting to network and communicate with one another. But I also see situations where there are same networking situations where a group, turn against one another, fight one another. I also know that there are those that have been entrenched in the power system of our people for so long here that they think they're kings and queens, and they dictate the lives of what black folks will have and will not have. All for that 30 piece of silver. We won't have to worry about the white man killing us or doing us in. We do a good job of it ourselves doing it. Every day. I see it every day. Every day. I cry. Because it just tells me how mentally retarded we have become. Yes, I'll use that word. Mentally retarded. Because our minds have been retarded to not love ourselves. We don't want to love ourselves. We want to look like the slave master, dress like him, eat like him, smell like him, marry his women. We want to destroy ourselves, what we look like, where we came from, in order to be like him. So where does it end? Or where does the beginning happen? How will you create a new future, a new culture? What is important in your home, with your family and community, that you all can work together as a team for the benefit of our children, for the benefit of us all? Because we once had it when we were segregated. We were all living in the same neighborhood. Mrs. Jones down the end of the block was just powerful as your mother at the house. She can chastise you and whoop your behind just as fast as your clothes around. But we wanted the so-called integrals, and we left all of that in order to become a part of something else that wasn't really a part of our family upbringing, our home culture. So now we have to do something. And I hope that you all take that time to talk about it and think about it and work on it. What is it that you're going to give your children? Are you now raising them to be leaders within your own home? Let us set aside, on the streets or in the community, in your own home. What are you teaching your children? What are you teaching your niece and nephew? What are you teaching your grandchildren? What are you teaching them? Celebrations like this is fine. It's necessary. It becomes a part of the quote-unquote a culture where you have as part of the daily routines and rituals, something that you can expect annually. But what are you doing daily? So I hope that I leave this in your mind to think about as you go home this evening. Because again, you can fool everybody else, but you can't fool yourself. You can't fool yourself. And if you profess to believe in a quote-unquote God, again, it should be showing in your deeds, not in your mouth, and not in the actions if it's a negative one where you're putting down or destroying other people in order for you to get up. Don't become a poverty pit. Don't become that Julius Caesar. Don't become that killer. Just like it took away Jesus, it be listed. It can happen today too, and it does happen today too. Let it be an end, and let it be an end now. If you believe in African people and who you are, and upraising yourself and your people, then show it in your deeds, not just your talk. Show it in your deeds. Thank you.
All right. Hey, we close. We're getting ready to close right now. I wanted to get a quick update on two things: on the credit union and the new charter for ACE real fast. They get a Jamu real fast.
Charter for the credit union has been submitted. It takes between 3 to 6 months for it to get back to us. We already had a pre-review, and so that's a good sign. So we're moving forward. This time next year, of course, we'll be talking about we're up and running and what everybody should be doing and the location. So that's good.
All right. Go to y'all mattresses, get y'all money together. We got our bank ready, and we're ready to fill it up. I wanted to close by talking a little bit about the coalitions that we're forming. Adenike Rob has done something here in the city, which is basically to work with a lot of the coalitions around the city and actually gotten them to be able to bring their message out on Facebook so that our children and the next generation can know what hands are out there working in the open on our behalf. She started a Facebook account for East Meets Western Truth, which is our coalition of activists. She started one for the Amen Parak farm community. She started one for the Black Agenda Group, which is the group of the SCBL. I'm one of the members. I call it the so-called Black Leaders Association. That's a joke. That's an inside joke. Okay. And for a group called Eggs and Enlightenment that meets on Friday. So she has brought to the front a lot of the people on Facebook and been able to start networking their families and friends so that we can take a next step out in the open. So many times, because we're doing things in the dark, we're not able to get larger things accomplished with our front core people. The other coalition that we've been working with every day, the Stop the Killing Coalition, getting their Facebook out. Adenike, we're about 1,900 people a week that are getting information, tracking down these murderers out here, getting intensive services in the neighborhoods. We've got one neighborhood that we have secured in a 3-block radius.
and we've gone out working with the police chief, and we've got the murder rates lower than they were last year, and trying to turn this thing around. We've also that in that coalition is the Nation of Islam. Islam provides a lot of wisdom in with us working together. So I want to put that out there. The National Black United Front has always been my home base, the only organization that my dad told me I could work with because their work they had done with the Million Man March, and because 2 weeks after I was born, my father went to D.C. for the march, and after my last child was born, I went to in '95, and I quit my engineering job and actually started my own African-centered school and went to the Supreme Court back in '96. So this whole piece of us coming together and getting all the coalitions so that we can take that next step on an urban planning level, so that we can get control of the dollars that we are putting into the system that are getting spent on our behalf. And I talk about a dream. I talk about a dream that a brother explained to me when I came back to Kansas City, and I met him in 2004, explaining to me about what we were going to need to do as far as protecting the school system here in Kansas City. And I had left public school education and started a voucher school and a charter school. And when I came back, I expected to do the same thing. But the leadership of the National Black United Front sat down and talked to me about that. And they talked about the fact that we needed to control our dollars here in the community, and they gave me a dream that allowed me to work with them, that allowed me to get out here and fight every day. And I'll tell everybody this, Sister Adenike and I, as we began to fight with the very people that were stabbing us in the back, looking us in the face, sending us reassuring messages to our leaders that don't worry about anything. We hit those streets late at night. We began to identify the people that were lying to our people, exposing them on Facebook, worldwide, and exposing the people that they intended to bring in to this local family, black, educated parent movement and tell us who was going to teach us how to raise our children. They gave me a dream, and now I see that dream being fulfilled because we are going to be able to stand on our own feet with our own dollars, with our own board, and get away from these people that lie to us, that try to use our children to make money. And it's a blessing for me to finally see our hands untied from that responsibility of having to deal with these wicked people every day of our lives. So I thank everybody for coming out, and I want to encourage everybody to get you a table at the Kwanzaa ceremony this year. If you can't do all 7 days, I'm going to have a strong presence there. We're going to open back up the Healing Center. We're going to get our food out there. We're going to teach our community about health, wealth, and life. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
But first I wanted to ask, because I am inspired by the concept of human capital, and then also the idea of the 6 degrees of separation, and that we're just 6 people away from knowing the president or knowing, an ambassador to the UN or anything that we might need in our life. We're just 6 people away in our peripheral. And the idea of human capital, in that each one of us has some blessing, has some gift, has a quality about them. And if we combine those resources, combine that energy and knowledge, we can accomplish a great deal. Right here in this room, we can accomplish a great deal of action.
And so I just wanted to ask if anybody here is a business owner, or what is your occupation? Because we are expecting everybody to put their money. I mean, I can't wait. I'm putting my money in the bank as soon as it opens. But we need to pool our energy. Yes, it is a good step to buy black, but if our African Americans are actually, some of them can actually be selling us out. So we have to be thoughtful in how we're approaching ourselves. And so I just wanted to ask who, I know my husband mentioned that we are the Ankh Ankh Urban Farm. We do inside of our residence, we basically turn the residence into a business site or a cultural center where we have tutoring opportunities, childcare, meditation, yoga classes. We have a juice bar, and we're moving in that. My sister does massage, for instance, and so we're approaching the idea of healing the community, one neighborhood, one block at a time. But who else has businesses that they can represent here in the community that we could actually support? Sister.
I'm the owner of the Royal Dominion Spa and do massage, holistic practitioners, Reiki, yoga, sacred women's circles, and men that we're incorporating. It used to be a salon, so I have transitioned to a more of a holistic type of feel. And what I got going on is 4,540 square feet. There's 14 private studios with doors and locks and windows that look out into the highway. And so the rooms range from 10 by 12 to 14 by 25, and they're to be leased out to such industry professionals if anyone is interested and want a place to house themselves in their business. There's just to kind of step up. There's a king and queen restroom. There's a whirlpool jacuzzi tub. There's a shower, a full-service kitchen, refrigerator, stove, microwave, upper and lower cabinetry, this type of thing. So it's kind of a home away from home, and it's like-minded, like-thinking type of people with this.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course, we are in a business right now, the WEB Divorce Licensing, that was founded in 1973. Been in Kansas City for almost 40 years. We are a business, all right? We're a nonprofit institution. But let me just say something. John was very modest relative to this. We developed our community credit union. I'm a member of the Mazuma Credit Union down on Blue Parkway, and I only have $25 in the bank. But I became a member because I needed some emergency cash. I needed $5,000. They gave me $5,000. Here's what's up. Each one of us in this room right now become ambassadors for the community development credit union. Let me tell you why. I mean, if you go down there to Slope Parkway, that Mazuma Credit Union, I don't go down on the truth, that's too far out for me, because I live right up the street, right in front of me. There are cars galore. 95 to 98% of those are black folk. Okay. And that community, that Mazuma Credit Union, conceivably, every member can be community development credit union membership. That's very important, because I'm not going to reveal this, but one of the municipalities believed in this credit union and put $1 million on the table. Am I right? Woo! Put $1 million. So this ain't no fly-by-night foolishness, y'all. I mean, we had one bank. The bank that was at Swope Parkway failed a long time ago. Everybody remember that tall building down there, that bank? Then we got another one, Douglas Bank, over in Kansas City, Kansas, first one. Then it came over to Kansas City, Missouri. So right now, that bank is owned by a group out in New Orleans, Louisiana, okay? Locally, not like it used to be. Here's why I'm saying this. Is that a gentleman got out of prison about a year ago. And he came up to Mr. Grace. He said, I am a professional seamstress. Many schools right now are demanding that their children wear what to school? Uniforms. Who's making those uniforms? All you need is a table like this and a sewing machine. My nephew just got out of prison a month ago. He came to me. Apparently, this prison movement is another form of slavery.
Yeah. It is. It definitely is.
He told me, he said, Uncle Bill, I said, what are you doing there? He said, I learned how to sew. What were you sewing? Military uniforms. Okay. Now here's the deal. What we're saying is that here is an opportunity. Yeah. Let me just say this. I need to bring this home, all right? This building right here would cost us $820,000. That ain't no lots of money. That's an economic development plan for us that we had in this building, but we didn't lose it. There were some things that happened that caused us not to be able to purchase. However, $820 million is not much because if we right, 820,000. Let me just put this in. I'm definitely going to sit down within the game. This building capacity is 319 students. The Kansas City, Missouri School District give charter schools $14,000 per pupil per school year. Do the math. But another white boy came in here and said, hey, I want it. The Kansas City School District said, okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is that suppose we developed a credit union that is governed by our own board of directors, knowing that we have the potential for this to be great income in our own community for sustainability. They're going to say, fund them. And we ain't going to be struggling to pay it back. Now, we ain't coming down looking for no handout. We ain't really no Negro organization. We run a professional organization that is going to have high professionalism and people know the job relative running credit union. So I just wanted to say that, okay? This is our opportunity. And every time I think about it, in the next 6 to 8 months, I get chills because I know what the potentials are. Just wanted to say that, my brother.
Anyone else? Well, I'm a new transplant here. I am from Denver, Colorado. I do have a business, creative glass etching. I do construction, glazing glass. And that's on my real side, how I make my money. I'm currently in negotiation with Missouri to teach a construction program to 9th through 12th graders. And I don't know if I'm going to need your help, but I had talked to Mother Bay about maybe having it Afrocentric instead of letting American builders here run the program because they want to make sure their students are educated and making all the big money and being in the union.
That's right.
And that's not my focus.
I got you.
You know, my focus is making sure our babies get that big share of the money. So, like I said, I'm in negotiation now. I'm willing to talk to anybody. I have a program that's certified through the union nationwide. We do have a curriculum already established. That is my background. I've been doing construction for over 30 years. Have built 7 buildings in Colorado. Built one here in Kansas City, Kansas, Slitterbomb. So I'm known in the industry. I know what I'm doing. And also I do the art glass as well as the regular glazing glass. So I'm one of the few African American women that do glazing. And I'm wanting to bring it to our community. So I had a lot of people in Kansas City, Kansas try to block me, try to stop me, didn't want to do it, can't visualize it. So that's why I came to Missouri to see it. But even here in Missouri, I'm finding that a lot of the union folks are trying to block me because I'm a black woman. I'm not a Latino woman because most of the women at the table in construction are Latino women or white women. See, they far advanced than we, and they're just not used. Even at the table when I meet with the big shots, I might see one brother, maybe. I know that the community outreach person for MoDOT, I don't know if y'all know him, but he's involved. You know, he's due diligent. But they still want to run this program to make sure that their babies get it. They want to go out to the suburbs. They want to do summer camp program. You know, and I want to do something that gets my babies paid in the summer. You know, not a camp. So I might have to pull away from that.
But, you know, I don't know where your base is going to be, where you guys are going to fall at in terms of space and students. But I know that I have caught up to 48 students every day, 5 days a week, 2-hour classes, and we have them in the construction industry. So that's all I can say to you.
Okay, all right.
So call me.
All right. All right.
Anyone else? Baba Okpara, would you like to share us your business and your books and your interest in that regard?
Well, I'm an educator and also an artist and author. I have two children's books. One is called Big Bad Bullies, and the other is called Why Hyenas Laugh. My company is called Educational Management Associates. I also work with some school systems down in Louisiana. Matter of fact, there are 3 parishes there that have asked me to come down on a regular basis and not only work with their schools, but also helping to develop programs for the communities as a whole. The towns are Hamlet, Amit, M-A-M-I-T, and there's one other parishes there, don't remember offhand. But I'll be going down there on a regular basis and providing assistance there. And I'm contacting, a lot of brothers and sisters throughout the country who need help as far as either the public schools, the charter schools, or even private schools. I'm not even asking for money as much as I'm just asking for transportation to get there and hook me up for a place to sleep and eat. Because I see the need, necessity as far as helping our people, and this is what I've committed my life to, and this is what I do.
Anyone else? Yes, even the ambition or the aspiration to start a business or go into any kind of business. I mean, this is networking. This is what we do as far as being able to put a face with the place or a face with a name. And we see you in an environment like this. It's very.
I know a brother that runs an engineering firm, and when you all calling these white boys to look at your foundation and do tuck pointing and leaning walls and the basement's messed up, of course, just call me 523.
His agent staff.
Du Bois Consulting Engineer.
There you go.
Stand up, man. Tell them so you can get everybody's business in here. Tell them what you do. Everybody got some leak in that foundation. Now, don't be calling and talking about give me a freebie. He ain't doing no freebies.
I didn't know he did it.
He does.
We don't know. The communication is terrible, you all.
Right, you want to.
She didn't even know we
right.
had. She said she hadn't heard anything about the credit union.
Right. Well, see, that's
so
why we got to communicate.
Yeah.
So let me just say real quick. I didn't know this. See, the brother I keep telling you live right across the street from me. All right. He's all up in my business. Everything I do, he knows. Can't do nothing wrong around there. Anyway, right up against the foundation. Right up against the foundation. When we see I saw my concrete pulling out from the wall. I said, man, I got to fill this in with some more concrete. He said, no, don't do that. He said, in the summertime when it get hot, it expands. It pulls away from the wall. When the winter comes, it's going to get a little bit closer. My God, I went out there yesterday. And then right around my other, where dirt is, did y'all know y'all supposed to pack dirt around your walls area sometimes so that water won't go down? He knows about that. See? And so when you get ready to get somebody to lay your patio, he's also a professional, certified civil and structural engineer. I mean, he signed white boy stuff to go in on engineering jobs. They had to come and get him. All right. I'm gonna give you one story because this brother ain't gonna never tell you. The owl, we go in his wall down there, on 57 Shore Parkway. You see all the buildings in the city that he was the prime engineer, not no set aside, the principal engineer. Okay. Let me just say, let me tell you what somebody told him when he was getting ready to. I'm telling this story because he told me this. The Isle of Capri. So you know they call that stuff float in the moat. Ain't no river, right? Put it in the moat, float it. So these guys came in from somewhere in Texas, big time white boys. Asked the owner, I said, who's your engineer? No, he said, how you know it's gonna float? He said, because our engineer says it's gonna float. He said, who's your engineer? There he is right there. He didn't have on no suit and tie, probably dressed like you. So the guy, white boy, came up to him and he said, how you know it's gonna float? He said, because I did the mathematical calculation. Then he said, have you ever floated one? He said, no. He said, well, I have. White boy got out his face. That's him right there. Right. So y'all, we need to know who we sitting around, who we sitting beside. You know, I mean, in this room, there's a lot of professional people. I just wanted to say that because
We have talked about all of this that we don't know. We're talking about having like a black pages on black pages online.
Right.
And so we talked about that in the Buck meeting. So we can put our businesses out there so folks will know what folks are doing. So when I need my foundation looked at, then I'm gonna beat you if I had somebody else that didn't know you did it. Get my switch.
So we'll be in
I gotta go to the
touch.
boss.
I just want to say that I'm interested in the uniform making. Most of the people here in Black United Front know that I've been sewing for years, and I make some of everything. The only thing I haven't made is shoes. Okay, and if somebody give me a piece of leather, I'm gonna
Do that too, huh?
do that.
I hear you, man.
Honestly.
I hear you.
But uniforms and things like that, the African-centered schools that were doing the African dance and stuff, I made all of their stuff.
Wow.
You name it. Okay. I've got 4 daughters.
What about quilts?
Yeah, quilts. Quilts, purses, anything that comes up and I'm broke, I'm gonna make it. Okay? all I need is to look at somebody else. Just give me a look, that's all.
Okay.
And I'll go back to the hair.
Do alterations?
Yes. Do alterations. Okay. So I've been kind of out of the list for the last couple of years, but I'm ready to do something because I have a 3-bedroom home that I'm trying to keep alone, and so therefore I need to get my business done. All right?
Ooh, I know we gotta go. Now, on that same note, man, I'm seeing people with talent and ability. Would you also be interested in teaching that?
Yes.
To the younger people coming along?
Yes.
That's the school right there.
I taught sewing at Genesis.
Okay, awesome.
That big quilt that they had hanging, the children and I made that.
Okay.
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 Yes.
That'll be some residual income for you there.
That's what I meant. Right. Help my house. That's about it. Right.
Yes, I do class.
That is one of the economic development pieces that we're doing. We're actually starting to train I ran an internship program just recently to convince some people to put in a Section 3 application. And it took 3 weeks because we're not able to respond to things anymore. We're so overwhelmed that something happens and we don't duck, we don't do anything. We don't go to solve it. So you have to actually take our people and move them to a place that opens up a door for them. And in explaining this Section 3 application, Jamu was there. He attended this meeting. I called it it was like the poverty pimp convention. I mean, it was every poverty pimp I know in the same room. My dad would have been proud of me, to be in there with all of them. And but in this room, the speaker actually laid out that it actually makes sense for us at this one moment in time, despite all the conflicts and the competition in the past, that there is $20 billion worth of development going on. And none of us, all of us together in the room, did not have the capacity to get the black part of it. So it actually made more sense for all of us to actually work together for the first time since I've been back in Kansas City. That's my interpretation of it's $20 billion out here. We don't have to fight with each other anymore.
Enough for everybody.
We don't have to keep, even Clyde McQueen was there from the Full Employment Council. He said 70,000 people come in his building and leave after they find out there's only 17,000 jobs he has. So 53,000 of them know that they're going home and there is no job for them at all. That's the reality of what we're sending our people back out to face with their children and their homes. So at this time, if we got 10% of that $20 billion and split it up with those 50,000 people, it would be $40,000 a piece. So for once in a time, there's enough development here for all of us to work together. It's a new day, people. So we begun to start training people. Just put your name in the database down in the city for the Section 3 application. You know, if you got all your stuff together, take you 15 minutes to fill it out. But your name is there so that when they sitting around trying to cut the deal, they will call you for what you say. But you have to have your name as a skill. You're advertising your skill. You're not applying for somebody's job. You're advertising your human wealth you already have. And we have $2 billion worth of work that we should be doing for what we're already skilled up on. And we keep sending our 70,000 people down to look for jobs. We got to change that mentality. And just by us getting Section 3 certified, that'll make our friends get Section 3 certified. That'll make the young brother that come and ask for a job again say, brother, I'm going to make you get Section 3 certified.
So where do we go to get Section 3 certified?
18th and Vine, the second floor, Lincoln Building.
What's the hour?
The hours are from 9 to 5. You go in, get your paperwork, and then they'll set up an appointment for you to come and turn it in.
So what's the next step after you get the application?
Next step after you get your application, your name will be in the database. I would suggest your next step is to figure out what business you want to be in. Because in this time that we're in right now, deals are being cut, and they just need people that got your color and your color to actually say, I'm not going to get my $1 billion unless you take this 50 million, would you please? We need to understand what time it is right now. And on the don't tell everybody this, okay? Don't tell what I'm going to tell you right now. We need to let everybody know about it because we don't even have to compete for it. It's more than any of us can eat. We got some brothers down on the TIF Commission board that are some shown up, hardcore fighters for our people. I ain't gonna point one of them out that's in the room, but we got some brothers that's been in economic development on the TIF Commission, down on HR. We got people that are on all different levels of this that are watching us, and even when I miss something, they drop a little birdie in my ear. So this is where we are, people. There's a great future, and the services that the credit union provides, one of the services is going to be how to run your business. You go in that bank and you stay in that bank until you leave with some money. Bring your money with you, though. But they will train you. They have, with the people involved, we got an instructor from the Teachers Economic Development at KU on that board. We got some hardcore business people on that board. I think I seen John Webster and Kinder on the front cover of the Black Bank that we had here in the city as one of the type of customers that they need to have. Wow. So It's now's the time, people. We do have resources and we do have the human capacity to do some great things right here, right now, and it's our time. We just have to.
Did you say that address again where you go to do the Section 8 application?
It's at the Lincoln Building, and it's on the corner of 18th and Vine. It's on the second floor, the Section 3 office. And tell all 50,000 people that ask you for money, go down there and get their skill. That's my new thing. If you don't apply for your skill, you can't ask me for that.
They also have Section 3 for employers. So if you have a business and you want to be in that money stream, you would apply as a Section 3 employer and get those people. They would give you a database of those people and you would be able to contact them yourself as a business.
Do you have to be a resident of Missouri to take this program?
No. Now listen. Let me tell you about the $20 billion. Okay, I worked with the crew to help put this police station in, help cut the deal on the safety tax, to make sure that we got put somewhere would be some benefit to our community. And I'll let everybody know that corner 27th and Prospect is a corner that's spit out. It's been killing my brothers and my cousins for years, and those drug dealers and those people on that block do a lot of the drug dealing. And it is the geographic center of all the murders and the violent crimes in Kansas City. So I have a personal problem with that block. And I've been telling those brothers we're going to take that block back for a long time. So if anybody want to know who sat in dark smoke-filled rooms to knock that block out, that was me. I ain't going to lie about it. Because I was out on that grind when I was raising my brother's 5 kids every night. Okay? So if you want to find out conspiracy, y'all can stop trying to recall Jermaine Reed. He wasn't even at the table. Okay? So y'all can holler at me about that. But we're making economic development happen where it counts. That police station got this whole thing about come and get your certification. We're going to have 2,000 jobs and blah, 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 blah. Don't be distracted by it, but don't be just totally into it. Because some of the businesses are not getting involved with that because of the level of scrutiny. But they are getting the people off the list. We're trying to get all the people on the list because there's $20 billion. They're doing 435 highway. They're doing 35 highway. They got an intermodal exchange. They're doing the airport. There's St. Joe Market. There's CMSU. Once we get organized, one of my college roommate, Jeffrey Fielderbrand, just hired one of the people I took through my internship, and the environment is such that he didn't have his union dues, so we got the full employment council to pay for that. He didn't have his tools, so we got one of the companies that wants to help with black people, give him all his tools that he needs. We got him Section 3 certified. He's starting, and he's not going back on them streets tomorrow. Who put the challenge out there? I got something I can do tomorrow that'll make me more money than these streets. Okay? But you gotta use my math. Okay? You gotta use my math. I'll make more money. I made more money. I'll show you W-2s, first of all. But also, we make more money doing this and doing what these people enjoy doing. The electronics. You know, putting in fiber, putting in all these things. That's what we training our kids to do what they're doing already, but we don't know how to teach them. So this is really just getting the movement going and getting organized, and we let each other know. You know, I'm going to tell on Jamo a little bit. I had to be careful every now and then because I'll run up to go do some activism work, and I found out Jamo been kicking this door down for 15 years ahead of me. So I had to okay, what's going on? You know, and he'll just tell me what's going on. I'll tell everybody, okay, let's go to the next. They tired. They've been whooped. You know, so we have people that are on the front end bidding for these deals. From the Moorish Science Temple brother, my college roommate, he's bringing electrical. We got the doors open for the electrical side. We got the doors open on the plumbing side. We've got the doors open for these trades where we don't have to go through the union. We got some non-union shops. We got some memorandums set up so that we come in as we are.
What about furnace? If somebody is a furnace shop?
We've got past the union out. Everybody, the big thing is that we told them, they keep saying we can't find people that can fit into our union. We told them, get your union the hell out our way in. And we had some electricians take their time and say, I'm not going to no jobs without my people, and start running some non-union shops. This is.
If a person has a furnace business, that's what that business is. They work on furnaces. Do they fit into that?
All the trades. We've got memorandums of understanding for all the trades that you can't exclude us because we don't fit into your union model. Because we got some bad background. We got felons just like they got felons on them workshops. You can't do no background check on them union folks. You have all kind of stuff pop out. Why can't our people work? So we got our felons working again. You know,
I didn't know if furnace person.
Furnaces.
That fit into this kind of thing.
The reason I don't speak on the furnaces is because they got little lanes, and furnaces is like all of them together. You know, you gotta have a mechanical and a electrical and somebody do the foundation work. So it's kind of like all of them together. So if as we keep building, you know, I just want us to know that the opportunity is there, and the Kansas City is standing on the shoulders of some people that have opened these doors up for us and putting some of those foundations in place. So get everybody.
Okay.
You know. All right. And I'm going to contact everybody. I'm going to do another internship, and some people want to sit down and listen to my mouth for a couple of weeks. We'll get everybody everything they need.
Is there anyone else that would like to share their business or their interest, or how they might be able to contribute to our community? All right. Beyond Clean. Okay. Did you write that down? Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for their participation and their presence here for this Umoja Karamu. You know, we're gaining momentum. To me, this was a tribute and a send-off for the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. As it was said, this will probably be the last month of coursework and activities, and then they'll be closing and moving. Are you moving back to the other? Baba? Are you moving back to the other learning center?
Right now, there's a little controversy relative to where we're going to go. But the 5501 Cleveland building, there's 5 acres of land. We own it.
Cool.
The learning center on it. There is no lien on it.
Cool.
It's clear title to the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning
Even
Center.
cooler.
And if y'all tell us, if y'all tell us to go back up there, that's where we're going to go. See, we go on the premise of what community folks say. Right now, they're trying to, when I say there are some other people trying to get us into the building right across the street from Veterans Hospital, Nuta more. To me, it's good for a school, but for what we're doing is not the best choice either. So because number one, there are some challenges relative to the structure of the facility. But you know, I usually try to keep the peace. You know that, right? Don't you? Right? Try to keep the peace. You know what I'm talking about. And try to get along. But I don't go along to get along. You know, and somebody said in reference to our political representatives, both on the city council and school district board, they're worthless. Tell them Bill Gray said they're worthless. Yeah. We call, and I know we don't step on people's toes, but some of the council people, I belong to the neighborhood association, sometimes people call them to ask them to come in and make a presentation. Oh, I'm in the 5th district. Okay. The Learning Center is in the 5th district. I live in the 5th district. 5501 is in the 5th district. I go to church in the 5th district when I come. I didn't say that. But I'm saying is that these people are non-responsive. How they got in there, you all know, with great anticipation, great hope that they're going to do the right thing. So we were told sometimes it only takes one person, one person, Sister Amani, to make a difference. And I'm getting ready to quit right now. And the reason why I said that, I called a Hispanic, and Hispanic told me, he said, if your black school board member stood up and do the right thing, to take this building off of the sale list, I will support you. He said, just get one. Get one to save ACE. Just get one black school board member to say, I'm going to tell Dr. Green the ACE ain't going nowhere. We couldn't get one. They're up there parading themselves around as our representatives. See, we know what's going on. And I'm going to definitely say this, I'm going to leave it fair. Let me tell y'all something. The Black United Front don't play around. Okay. We are not, we just believe in what we believe in doing, the freedom of black people, self-determination campaign. The reason why what happened to ACE is because of NBUF. You all don't understand, because when NBUF helped organize ACE at Paseo High School, when Dr. Covington said that he going to downsize the school district, over 700 ACE parents came up there and dared him to close those 3 schools. He said, you're going to pay for it. And that's why ACE is going down the hill right now, because of 2 people. And Dr. Green and Covington was just like that. Green was Covington's mentor. See, people, when you tell the truth, people understand, your eyes become open. So that's what happened. That's what happened. Dr. Green told us that since you all, not insulted, stood your grounds, then you're going to have to pay for it. We're going to take the school. It wasn't broken, was it? ACE was one of the performing schools in the state of Missouri. Not only was that school, I'm going to say this, Sister Dale, definitely about it. When we started ACE school, not only did we have one, we had Lad, right, Kendra? Yeah. Chick, Lad, King, and Southeast. That was 4 ACE schools that we had. Okay? And we had to fight to keep them, to make the power to be what we needed to do. So I said all that to say that there was a history. There's a history of ACE stepping up to the plate. And when they told Algebra Lord that you cannot teach phonics, you got to get rid of all the phonics textbooks, and all the other schools was clamoring to get rid of their books, we told Algebra Lord to keep the books, phonics books. Do not get rid of the student phonics books. So she kept it, so she had to pay a price for that. But she did not step back, she stepped forward. So I'm saying is that it wasn't, everybody makes some mistakes here and there, but I'm saying is that if it wasn't broke, don't try to fix it. That's all I'm saying. So don't go, so we just want people to know, because that story has been told in the newspaper on numerous occasions, but all of us don't, and they lie. And they lie. And the Kansas City Call is not our friend. When Lucille Bluth was there, yes, she was our friend. Donna Stewart, good lady. Eric Wesson, good man, but he's in the wrong position. You do not put a slant on truth. If you're going to do your op-ed, do your op-ed. Do not do my news story and put your spin on my news story. See, I studied journalism myself, and I know what's right, what the etiquette and what the protocols are of journalists. So I just wanted to say that so we won't be in the dark. When people come up to me talking food, you should know that's wrong. Somebody done told you a lie. Right. So you need to set the record straight.
All right. Thank you very much. Kendall,
my great grandson
close us out?
started started at ACE in kindergarten. By the time they closed that school, he's 2 years. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, he's reading on the 6th grade level. And we asked them, you know, what can you move him up? Okay? And it was explained to me that it wouldn't be a good idea to move him up right now because he's too young yet. See, he's got the brain for it, okay? But he's still playing. He's still running and playing, okay? Now, he's been down here, what, these few months, okay? Now he's fighting, okay? He's going through the halls doing whatever he wants to do because there's no structure.
That's right.
There's no structure. We just took him out of that school.
Thank God.
No, he's not being childlike.
They don't have the
He's not being childlike.
values.
All right, everybody, we're gonna be in contact. Make sure if you sign up on the attendance sheet, that way we can get in contact with everybody. Sister Maria's gone with the info about bringing Brother Yakini back. But make sure you get we have your info on the sign-in sheet.
Let's gather in a circle, and we're going to close out with Harambe.
We're going to close this out.